Wolves fans, what a way to start this channel. A 120-96 blowout win over Dallas last night. Naz Reid breaking through, Cooper Flagg quiet all night, and some things we need to talk about with Rob Dillingham. So let's jump in. Welcome to the very first episode of the Sixth Wolf. I'm Ryan, lifelong Timberwolves fan. This channel is all about daily reactions, breakdowns, and honest fan takes. So it's not polished like a media spin. It's not like a beat writer angle. Just Wolves basketball, the way we actually talk about it. So it's the fans' perspective. It's me. It's all of you. Subscribe, leave your comments. My goal is to react to each game, talk about the upcoming games, and then during the offseason, just talk about some rumors, some trade rumors that are out there, what's going on with the team, and things of that nature. So glad you're here. Hit the subscribe button and let's get this rolling here. So let's talk about the game reaction last night. We took care of business. One of the main things this year that I'm seeing is that we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat, right? I know we've had somewhat of an easy schedule to start the season. And last year, we didn't stack those wins. We lost to those teams that we were supposed to beat. And I think so far this year, that's one of the main differences. We lost to Denver the other night. Didn't play our best basketball, but we're blowing teams out that we're supposed to be. Getting our reserves coming in each game. I think we had some of the reserves come in at the 10-minute mark last night to get some playing time and things like that, get some of the starters rest. So that's been great to see so far this year. One of the highlights from last night, and it just gives me goosebumps to talk about, is Naz Reid. I think last night he looked more in the flow of the game, looked more like himself. And I know obviously all the offseason stuff he's had going on with his sister, getting murdered right before the season starts, but it's just hearing how close the team is with him, ownership, leadership, how they're just constantly keeping an eye on him and supporting him. And yeah, there's a human element to this. It took him a while to get in the groove of things last night, but I feel like last night he started being like Naz Reid. He was driving to the hoop, he was hitting his threes, he had a smile on his face all game long, and it's going to be up and down for him, all season. I can't fathom what he's going through right now, but last night, one of my main takeaways was just seeing how comfortable he was with everything. Another point I had on here is Anthony Edwards. He did control the game. He didn't blow him out of the water. I know he made a quote earlier in the year saying that, the teams that were supposed to beat, he's going to try to score as much as he possibly can and get his, break his record for scoring in a game. But last night, he just controlled the game. He controlled the pace. He was smart. Great example of this, he had a breakaway, at the end of the first quarter, I believe, where he could have just drove it to the hoop full court, but he slowed down just a bit, kicked it out to Naz Reid in the corner for a three, and he hit it. And getting his teammates involved like that, that's been huge. A huge development for Anthony Edwards this year is, his eyes have been up. He's looking around the court. He's anticipating or waiting for the defense to break, right? And then he makes his move. So that's another big point that I had. Julius, Randle, Rudy, Gobert, they did their jobs, obviously. But our defense has been great. Our transition defense was huge. A couple nights ago, Cooper Flagg went off against Utah. Really didn't look like a rookie. Last night, he looked like a rookie. And I feel like our defense manned him up. We got back on transition D. If we missed a shot, guys weren't standing around. They were hustling back and getting back on defense, and I think that was huge. So that was good. And then one of the other points I want to talk about was Rob Dillingham. And I don't know if all of you feel the same way about this, but ever since, maybe last year or something in the offseason, I feel like happened where he's just reserved. He gets in there, feels like he's thinking too much. He's passing up shots. He's looking pass first, which is good. He's a point guard, but one of his main strengths, and probably why Tim Conley drafted him, he's a playmaker. He gets up and down the court. I feel like you need to let him out of his cage. I don't know what conversation was had. He's starting, I think, bit by bit, starting to feel more comfortable, but you can just see, he's just a little, the ball's rotating. He wants to shoot it. He passes it. Sometimes I think he needs to let it rip. So hopefully, he gets more playing time like he did last night. He gets more comfortable. I know he's smaller. Not the best defender. I think he's doing better. But that smaller frame, especially when he's on breakaway layups, I feel like he's going to get blocked 9 times out of 10. But I just feel like in the mix of the offense, he's driving and kicking kind of, sort of. but I just feel like he's in a cage, and you just got to release him. Release him, baby. Let's go. So that was good. You know, what this game really means to me is we took care of business. They're not a playoff team this year. They were missing a lot of the Mavericks. Were missing a lot of starters, obviously, and we did what we were supposed to do. We took care of business, and we should be doing that again for the Wizards coming up, tomorrow night? At home again. So I feel like that, you know, I think they have, a 1 win this year. So that should be, keep stacking those wins, right? It's the beginning of the year. I don't care if it's easy to schedule. We stack those wins. It's going to help us later in the year, unlike last year where that really didn't help us out too much. So again, if you're a Wolves fan, hit subscribe. I'll be doing daily reactions, pregame thoughts, real fan takes. Leave your comments. I'll try to get back to you as well. And we'll try to build this community together. Again, my name is Ryan. This is the Sixth Wolf Show, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.